All right, my job is to make you the most successful technicians I possibly can. Not just selling, but productivity also. So, I want to get into time management, which is actually false. There's no such thing as time management because you can't manage time. My C's in the room will really understand what I'm talking about here. There's only 24 hours a day, right? 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. We can't manage time. It keeps going. Every day, we have 24 hours in a day, every single day, except for 2 days of your life. The day you're born, and the day you die. Other than that, you have 24 hours a day. I know that's a little bit sick, that's that thinking, but the good news is nobody has advantage on you. Presidents of countries, CEOs of major corporations, all these people have the same amount of time you do. They don't have any more than you do. You're on a level playing field. So let me ask you, if that's something that's on a level playing field, how do they do it? Like, how does a guy like Elon Musk have build this massive company in SpaceX and Tesla and all this stuff? He has no more time than you do. Not a second more than you have. How does he do that? So there was a study done, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. They took like 20 multimillionaires and billionaires, and they were trying to find something that they all shared that was very similar. They're trying to diagnose these people, like, why are they so successful, and how can we mimic these people? The only thing they could find that were similar to every single one of them is they managed their time extremely well. Or I always say they life manage themselves well, because you can't manage time. You can only manage your life around the time. They were extremely good at that, but they have to be. Think about it. How else would they accomplish what they've accomplished if they weren't extremely good at it? So let's learn from that, and I want you guys to do the same thing. Manage your life as good as you can around the time you have. You can't change the time, but you can change what you do with your time. So, here's a couple things. Your time is the most precious thing you own. It's literally the most precious thing you own, and it's running out every second. If you can save 60 minutes of wasted time a day, you'll gain 32 working days a year. I'll say that one more time. If you can save 60 minutes every day of wasted time, you'll actually gain 32 working days a year. That's pretty insane when you think about it, isn't it? You can literally gain a month of time if you can figure out how to get rid of 60 minutes of wasted time a day. So my job is to figure out where are we going to get that 60 minutes every day. And it's probably way, way easier than you think it is. If you can save 60 minutes of wasted time a day and then work an extra 30 minutes per day, you'll actually gain 2 full working months a year. I mean, think about it. You don't have any more bills, but you're working 2 more months a year in time. It's like you get 2 free months of income with no more bills. All right? Common time wasters. I was a technician. I worked for other companies. I worked for myself. I see what my technicians do every day that drive me nuts because I'm watching them literally waste time every day. And we're all guilty of all these things. So again, I'm trying to find 60 minutes. I'm going to try to help you find 60 minutes. Smartphones are probably the number one worst thing in the history of ever, period, ever, when it comes to time wasting. Whether that's social media, playing games, watching Facebook videos, YouTube videos, Snapchat, Tinder, whatever the hell you're into, right? Like, you can, I mean, how many times have you got locked into a video series on whatever app you're on? Before you know it, it's a boom, an hour's gone. It's like, what the hell happened, right? So, how can we get rid of that? Now, the easiest, quickest thing to do, on your phone, turn off all notifications. Because every time it rings, dings, or beep, you're going to want to look at that damn thing. You know you are. What message came through, who commented on my post, whatever, right? If it doesn't ring or ding, you won't look at it near as much. You won't get sucked into it. So turn off all of your notifications, except maybe text messages. That alone will probably be able to save you 10 to 20 minutes minimum a day, just by doing that. Unless you're not a person addicted to your phone, I think damn near everybody's almost there now. All right? Sleeping in is the second worst time waster. We'll get to some examples of that, but I mean, if you're 10 minutes, if you show up to that house 10 minutes later than you needed to, right? If we can just save that, well, now we're down to 50 minutes we got to find in a day. It doesn't take much. Being early instead of on time. So if you're generally 10 minutes into your time window, showing up to your first call of the day, and we fix that and we get you there 10 minutes before, so let's say you have to get to your job, let's say it's an 8 to 11 time slot, and you're always getting there at 8:10. If we can get you there at 8, well, now you just save 10 minutes. If you show up 10 minutes early, which most customers don't mind, most appreciate it, that's another 10 minutes. Now we just got 20 minutes. So let's say smartphones save you 20. Let's say being early is another 20. Well, now I just gained you 40 minutes already of 60. I'm working my way to 32 extra days a year for you. Parking lot meetings. You know what parking lot meetings are? The meeting after the meeting at the shop where we talk about all the things we hate or didn't like about the meeting we were just in. I watch my guys stand around and talk about stuff for an hour after the meeting. And I'm like, there's your 60 minutes right there. You just lost your 32 days a year because you want to talk for 60 minutes after the meeting. It really probably isn't that important, whatever it is. All right? Truck stock is a huge one. The most expensive part is the one you have to drive and go get. That's the most expensive part. How long is an average wholesale or Home Depot or Lowe's run? What do you think average it takes time-wise? I would say it's an hour. Including the drive, yep. By the time you get in your truck, you drive there, you park, walk across the parking lot, go in the store, find the thing, walk across the store, stand in line, check out, get back in the truck, drive back. It's an hour. Well, there's your 60 minutes right there. We ran a report at my company, and just in our electrical division, we ran a report. Our electrical division as a whole spent 8 hours in 1 month driving around getting parts. That's one guy spent an entire day, time-wise, just driving around getting parts. Is that really needed? Yeah, sometimes it is needed. We don't haul everything, like I get it. Not everything's on the truck. But if you restock your truck, we can eliminate a lot of that stuff. A dirty truck can be almost as bad. Because if you're spending 5-10 minutes looking for a tool or a part almost every time you need it, that adds up quick. So keeping your truck organized and clean can definitely save you a ton of time in productivity. And I know you guys are like, yeah, I know where everything is in my truck. There's 3 GFIs buried up on the front left corner behind 8 rolls of 12-2, and they're up there. I know where they are. Yeah, but by the time you crawl up there, move all the crap out of the way, you find them, they're probably damaged or the wrong color or whatever. You're still wasting time finding them, right? Or you sent your apprentice to the truck to go find them. Well, he doesn't know your trash truck like you do. So now he or she is swimming in your truck trying to find the part, right? So don't do that to yourself. Coming back to a job. All right. Let's say you had a $1,000 average ticket. So your average sale, let's say, is $1,000. And I'm just using round numbers. Let's say you got paid 10%. So you got $100 for selling a $1,000 job. If you have to come back to that job, you lost a $1,000 sale because you burnt up an entire time slot. So let's say you didn't have the part in your truck and you're going to be like, oh, I'll just swing back and I'll put that one outlet in because I'm short, because you think that's a time saver. But what really happens is that you hopefully schedule it with the office to come back and put that outlet in. And if you don't schedule it, you forget about it, and then you have an upset customer. That's usually what happens. But you schedule it. Now you could have ran a whole nother call. So you lost a $1,000 sale by coming back to that job to put in an outlet. Don't do that to yourself, all right? Keep your trucks stocked so you don't have to do that type of thing. All right, all these things added up. Can you see 60 minutes in a day? I bet you can. I think another spot I have in here, but gas station stops and lunch stops. Like, we have GPS in all my trucks. I'll see a guy sitting at McDonald's for an hour and a half. Why are you doing that? I don't know if he's on the phone. I don't know what he's doing. But I'm like, why? Like, you're wasting your precious time, And then again, I have technicians who will say, yeah, but Kent, it doesn't matter what time I start in the morning, I always end up working late. I know there's people in here who think that way, but it just logically can't be possible. If you start early, you should end early. It has to work that way, okay? Now, subconsciously, we screw ourselves. We think we have more time, so always check your thought process. And this happens a lot in our slow times. And I know this time of year is usually a slower time for everybody. And so we think we have more time than we have, so we just subconsciously start slowing down. Or we think, yeah, we're slow, so I'll go. I usually don't go to lunch, but today I'm going to go to lunch. And then I'll swing over and pick up some parts at the wholesaler, and then I'll head back to the job because it's slow. Okay. Maybe it is slow, but here's what I know as a business owner. Some days are busy and some days are slow. You might think it's slow, but that was just because yesterday was slow. The phones might have blew up today, and we have a full schedule. So always assume there's another call. Don't think that this is my last call or it's slow and there won't be anything for me. Always assume there's another call. Because once you start slowing down, you won't get that opportunity. Let's say you work for a company and there's 4 electricians. Everybody's running. Nobody has a 2 to 5 because it's slow. One call comes in. Who's going to get that call more than likely? The guy who probably clears his 11 to 2 first. But if you're screwing around and you're slowing down because it's slow, you won't get that opportunity to get that 2 to 5 call. Somebody else who cleared before you is going to get it. You see what I mean? So that's dispatching. A lot of times companies don't do a good job of explaining dispatching. Dispatching changes minute by second sometimes, minute by minute. The board changes all the time. I know in technicians' mind you think there are 3 calls on you and that's your calls for the day and we don't move them. Newsflash, those calls move all the time, especially when it's busy. We're moving stuff all over, every minute, every second. So if you don't clear your call and somebody else does, I'm going to take a call that might be on your name and I'm going to give it to them because I don't know how long you're going to take. I want to get that call in. And what if another call comes in? I want to get to that one too, right? So always assume there's another call. If it's slow, don't gear down. Because again, that can hurt you in the long run, especially like that $1,000 average ticket. Now, let's say I was teaching a class in Seattle a couple weeks ago, and one of the companies said that their technicians have about a $2,000 average ticket at their company, which was really high. I was pretty impressed by that. So they make if they were making 10% as a technician, they'd make $200, right? So I said to the group, I'm like, okay, if that's true, if you make $200 on average on every call, picture in your mind there's an envelope sitting on a kitchen table in every house with $200 in it with your name on it. How many houses do you want to go to? As many as you can, right? That's the answer. But that's happening, guys. Every day that's happening. In your work area, in this area, your name is on an envelope with whatever average ticket you have, with whatever dollar amount you make. It's sitting in there, some cash. I know it's not real cash, but pretend. Real cash in an envelope with your name on it, sitting on all these houses. How many houses do you want to go to? You tell me you want to go to as many as possible. That's what you tell me. But your actions speak otherwise. Because you get to houses late. You don't restock your truck. You have parking lot meetings, right? You don't want to work because it's Friday. You don't want to get out of bed because it's Monday. So you tell me you want to go to all these houses, but you're not showing me you really do. Because if you really wanted to get as many houses as possible, you would maximize your time like you never would before. So just remember that. Every time you might get in that slump, and we're all human, I get it. You know, sometimes we gear down a little bit, we're tired, whatever. Just think, there's an envelope with my name on it, with cash in it, at every house, and I want to go to all those houses. Maybe that'll help motivate you to get you there, all right? So, let's try to get 60 minutes, all right?